y'all, welcome to the 27th episode of the Yarn This podcast. I'm Shama, Jessie's Girl 84 on Ravelry, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find my Yarn This groups on Ravelry and Facebook. If this is your first time watching, thanks so much for giving me a shot. If you're one of my returning Yarnies, thanks a lot for coming back. I love you guys. Today is Saturday, August 5th, 2017. Lately, I've been having this feeling of newness with my knitting all over again. It's like this excitement, like when you first realized you could actually take the yarn and the needles and turn something into nothing, from nothing. Turn nothing into something. Anyway, I get that from time to time. I always enjoy knitting a lot, but sometimes I just get this feeling of like in your stomach, like butterflies of excitement. Anyway, so I'm wanting to knit everything. I'm looking at all these projects. I'm buying way too many patterns. Thankfully, I'm not buying too much yarn because, that could be a problem. But anyway, I did place a Knit Picks order, and I wasn't going to show that to y'all because I thought that I would not get it until after I podcast this time. However, it showed up just a little while ago on the doorstep, and I think I'm just going to open it and reveal the contents while I'm podcasting today. So, let's get started. On to the knitting. First of all, puppy love, my works in progress. I've actually got 3 things actively on the needles right now. The first one is, wrong bag. My Mother's Love shawl by Debbie Reese of the Periscoping Sisters. It's in my Dumbledore's Army bag. This is made by Kim Marie. Has the snap, and the inside is this beautiful red swirl. I actually think I have a bag that I made, out of this, but it's the purple, a few years ago. Anyway, so I've actually done some on this, and I didn't realize I was in the middle of a row. I have worked on this quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, so make sure I'm on the right side of it. Nope, this is the right side. Sorry. So here's where I started, down here. Working my way up through this eyelet section, which I love, and I've got it upside down, but you're seeing the right side of it. Then it has this, what did they call this? Some kind of, I can't remember, it was like a flower section, I think. And then something happened right here. I don't know what happened. It's not a hole. As a matter of fact, there's some extra yarn back here, so I'm going to pull it to the back and tighten it when I get done. Then I did another section right here of the eyelets. And then I have one more section to go. I had to rip back. Is that the one? I believe so. I had to rip back because I made a mistake, and I had to go back, and I don't do lifelines. I know I should, but I only had to go back to the garter stitch section, and so it wasn't difficult. It was just a few rows, and I'm working my way back up, but I decided to go ahead and put this back up for a few days, not because I'm not loving it, but because I was neglecting my Diagon Alley socks. Hang on just a sec, sorry. Okay, my Diagon Alley socks. Oh, I didn't say, that yarn is the Yarn at Home Mom Basic Fingering in the Jessie's Girl colorway, which you've heard me talk about a million times, on size US 6 4mm needles. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay, I'm calling these my Diagonally socks because of the way Harry said Diagon Alley just before they went through the fireplace at the Weasleys. So this is by Knitting Expat, and this is Gnome Acres House Gnome in the Tonks colorway, and I'm doing it on my usual 1.5 2.5mm needles. This yarn up here is Lorna's Lace's Soulmate, in the bigger on the inside colorway. I forgot to write it down. Anyway, I used this to knit my bigger on the inside shawl for the last, not last summer's Olympics, but the 4 years before that. Anyway, so this is what I've done, and I just discovered today that I did something, I made a mistake back here. And I'm not going to go back and fix it. I'm not sure what I did. No telling. You see, I'll show you my mistakes. Anyway, unfortunately it's on the leg, but my legs are, the leg of my socks is usually covered up by my pants anyway. So this is where I am. I think I've done about 5 1/2 or 5 3/4 inches. A little more than 5 1/2 inches. And I do 7 1/2 inches, and then I do the heel, and then 7 1/2 inches, and then the toe. Yes, from the back of the heel. And I know I've shown y'all this before. This is my sock ruler from the sockruler.com. I love it. It's in centimeters and inches, 1/4 inches. It's really, really amazing. I love this thing. I have 2 of them. I thought I lost it and immediately ordered another one and found that one. So I've got 2, and I love having 2. So this sock, I plan to be through the heel and onto the foot by the end of the weekend. I want to get this done and my shawl because first of all, I want to wear them. And second of all, I have another project that I'm going to tell y'all about that I'm going to start really soon. However, in the meantime, knowing that I'm fixing to start this big project, I started an impulse knit. Where did I see this? Maybe the Geeky Girls. We're talking about this collection by Tin Can Knits, and it's not new. I think it was 2013, and it was the stovetop hat from Tin Can Knits, and I totally freaked out when I saw it. It's got this amazing cable down the front with, well, a big cable with 2 small cables on each side. I'll pull it up and show y'all. I should have pulled it up already. And immediately I knew what I wanted, that I wanted to do it, and I knew that I wanted to do it in pink because I'm suddenly, in the last 2 or 3 years, a pink girl. So this is, I only have the brim and like the first 2 rounds done. This is what I've gotten done though. Look at that awesome hot pink. And this yarn is Gritty Knits. And if you've never knit with Gritty Knits, I love it. I've got my extinction shawl out of it and also my Mama Vertebrae. I think it's a single ply, so it's a little pilly, but I still really like it. Well, here it is. It doesn't say. Anyway, this is the worsted weight, and this is the cake. It's 215 yards of worsted, and I'm knitting it on a size 6 4mm for the body of the hat, and I started off with a size 8 5mm needle. It's going to be slouchy and cabley, and that's what I love. I don't look good in fitted hats. It looks like there's something weird going on top of my shoulders. I just don't have a head or the face for a fitted hat. I think cloches are so cute. Not on this head. Anyway, so this is what I've done. And I have this stitch marker that marks where the cable section ends, which is from here to here, and where the seed stitch begins. But just before I started, I decided that I would pull out my frozen stitch markers, and I'm going to put one of those on because, you know, winter hat. These are from Kim Marie's Knit Knacks. There's the castle. See, I've got 3 snowflakes, and I'm going to use one of those as my stitch marker. Can you see them? Well, poot. Sorry, y'all. There's one. And this one. I think I'm going to use this one on my hat. But I'm not going to go through all of them. I've got a snowman, the carrot, a tiara, a sled, a heart. I like this one. A heart that says sister on it. And the moose. Anyway, I can't think of his name. Is it Chris? I can't think. Sorry. Anyway, so I'm gonna use one of these on my hat, and I've done the first. Am I on round 3 or 2? 3. I just started round 3. I'm fixing to start the cabling. I'm very, very excited. I think you cable on every odd numbered row. And I think there are going to be like 3 sections, 3 cable repeats up, and then it starts decreasing. But the cable goes all the way to the top, and then there's like a rope cable. I'll actually show you what it looks like when it's done. Hang on. Oh, and I'll tell you what I do. I have it saved on several devices, and I'm going to use what is that? Knitting Buddy. I'm going to use Knitting Buddy to keep track of it, but when you've got all those cables, I can never remember. I know if it says back to hold my stitches to the back or whatever, but like some of them are knit these and purl these, and so what I do is I just take them, you can't see it, and write them all down. Those are the cables. And so yeah, it's right here for me in case I need it. Not in case, when I need it, which is every single cable. Anyway, I'm not one of those that can memorize the cables like that. As much as I love them, I'm not good at memorizing them. Okay, so that's what I've got on the needles. I still have my Happy Knitting Memories blanket. I'm just not working on it right now. And I've got a secret project that I can't talk about right now. And I'm going to frog my crochet blanket, which I think I told y'all last time. No, I don't think I did. I'm going to frog my crochet blanket. I'm not a big crocheter. And if I'm going to crochet, there are other things I'd like to crochet. And I'm using Line Brand. I can't think the name of it. But it's a big, comes in a big cake, and it's like colors going into the middle, changing into the middle. And they are out. Everybody loves it. And so they're out, and I can't get any more of it till sometime next year. So I'm just going to frog it, and I might come back to it later. I don't know, but not now. It's hanging over my head, and I hate having that. So anyway, on to another one bites the dust, my finished objects. The first thing I have to show you is a hoe. What? I finished my first diagonally sock. Here it is. Boom. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to show these to you later. I bought some sock blockers at the Houston Fiber Festival, and I got the wrong size. They're too small, I think. Well, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe not. Anyway, so here it is in all of its beautiful glory. I love everything Harry Potter. And I said at the beginning that my knitting mojo is in a big resurgence, but so is my Harry Potter love. I've always loved it, but last weekend was was Harry Potter's birthday weekend, and so I had it on all weekend, whether I was watching it and listening to it or just kind of keeping an eye on it while I watched podcasts. It was on all weekend, and so this makes me so happy with Tonks and Diagon Alley and anyway, so there's my first finished object. The second thing I have is another one of my impulse projects. I do this from time to time. I'll see something and it's not very big, and I'll think, okay, I got to cast this on. I got to do it now. Well, quite a while back, I bought Dr. U from Susan Claudino, and I kept thinking I would knit it, and it just hit me right before the Houston Fiber Festival, I've got to knit him. And so I did. He's knit on size 6 4mm needles, and here he is. And always, just about when I do any kind of amigurumis, I use acrylic. And so the same is true on this one. Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn in linen, which is his face, ears, and feet. I love his big old ears. And red for the bow tie and the hat. And then for the back of his body, oh, see his little tail? Oh, love that. Is Vanna's Choice and Taupe Mist. When I first started, I just did you do the face and the body together. And then you come back and do the ears and the legs and the hat and the bow tie separately and sew them on. And I just took a picture like this. And somebody thought he was a mushroom. And somebody thought he was an acorn. And I knew I was going to get different guesses. Anyway, I love him. He's great. And then I took some hot pink and did that and then used these for the eyes. These are the kind of amber looking ones. This is probably going to be my last Doctor Who knit for a while because since they announced that there's going to be a girl doctor, I'm not real happy. I like her. I love her on Broadchurch. But Doctor Who is supposed to be a boy. That's just the way it is, and I'm not happy about this. Anyway, the next thing I finished was the Benton Hooded Blanket by Heidi May. I called it my Fizzy Wizzy Hooded Blanket. Fizzy Wizzy is a candy that I believe Fred and George sold, but at least it was a candy in Harry Potter's world. And this was the blanket I've been telling y'all about for a while that I was going to knit for my niece's 4th birthday. And I got it done in a little over a week. I lost a lot of sleep, and my hands and arms and shoulders hurt. I did it on size, 19 needles? Yes, 15 millimeter needles. And they're up there. I'm not going to get them. There are these acrylic ones that I got years ago at Hobby Lobby, and they're clear and glittery inside. And so they're pretty, but they're horrible to knit with. And when you're knitting a whole blanket on straights, I just didn't have any other size 19 needles. But it was totally worth it. And I got the most amazing picture of my beautiful little niece wrapped up in it. She was actually running around with her 2-year-old cousin after the party. And they were, she was pretending she was Rapunzel and that this was her hair because the hood was hanging off. But there she is wrapped up in her blanket. That's my older son in the background looking at his phone. So there's my little Etta, worth every ache and pain and stitch that I put into that, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I'm going to come up with something really awesome for her for Christmas. And her brothers are going to get something too that I've also been planning to knit for them for a while, and it's finally going to get done. Anyway, we'll talk about that when the time comes. I'm not quite there yet. And then the last thing, hold on. Okay, my younger son just got home from work. We talked for a few minutes. Anyway, I have one more finished object, and it was another one of my impulse knits. Last weekend, I was looking at something, and now I forgot what because I got distracted. And I was looking at unicorns for something. Anyway, I found this unicorn toy, and I think the pattern was like $1, $1.99 or something. Anyway, this is by Emma Whittle, and I knit it out of Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn. The first yarn was metallic white, and then just plain black for his eyes and mouth. But then the bottoms of his feet, here he is. The bottoms of his feet, his horn, and his mane and tail are out of Red Heart's Heart and Soul in the Jelly Beans colorway. I knit him out of on a size 3.75 millimeter needle. And he was so much fun. I'm terrible at putting on ears, though. I never get them in the right place. They seem to be back too far, or one's down too far, or whatever. But anyway, I'm pretty pleased with him. He's pretty cute, and he stands up. And, yeah, I went back a little too far with this. I didn't stuff him quite right. But anyway, I'm happy with him. He kind of has a Pokemon-ish look. And a couple of the girls at Knit Group the other night were kind of fighting over him. So I know he's adorable. Anyway, what was I going to say about him? Oh, I put him up on Facebook, and my older son gave him a name. Do y'all remember last year when there was a boat. I think it was like a ship or something that they were trying to name, and they put it out for people to nominate names, and this guy nominated this crazy silly name, and it won, but they didn't use it. And he even apologized because I don't know why, it was a funny name, but the name was Bodie McBoatface. And so we say everything is something McSomething-face anymore. And my older son named my unicorn Sparkles McHornface the Third Junior. So that's the name I chose for him because it's crazy and silly and I like it. So this is Sparkles McHornface the Third Junior. Anyway, he was a lot of fun to knit, and I might have to knit one of these for Etta. I didn't put anything down about this, but I am going to show you. The next thing I'm going to cast on for as soon as I finish my socks and my shawl, and maybe just my socks, is another impulse. But I've been wanting to knit myself a cardigan for a few years. I have the yarn back here that I got from Mustache 3 years ago, I think, and I'm still going to use it to knit a sweater. I think I have the sweater picked out. I have 2 or 3 picked out, and I'm gonna get that done hopefully within the next year, if not sooner. And then I have yarn for the Hitafude, which I've talked about quite a lot, but I've never cast on for it. But then I was watching Harry Potter's birthday weekend, and I was noticing Hermione's sweater in the Deathly Hallows. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, there's a cardigan called Cardigan of Hallows and Horcruxes. Now, this is someone's finished project. This is done by, that's weird, Reclaw on Ravelry. I'm not going to look like this wearing this cardigan because this girl is very trim. But I wanted to show you the cardigan. It is amazing and beautiful. It's got a cabled button band. Look at that. And I love how long the cuffs are. I like sweaters that come down on my hands. I'm not a big fan of knitting ribbing, but it looks nice, and I love this. But then look up here. We've got Fair Isle. And then there's a hood, and the edging on the hood is also cabled. Let me see if I can get a really good shot of that. I think here. So I'm very excited about the cabled edging and then about the Fair Isle. And yeah, it's not super clear in this picture, but you can see it. See the cabling right across here? Oh yeah. I'm very excited. Well, I went ahead and ordered the yarn, and I never use, a lot of times I don't even use the yarn they use when they design a project, and I rarely knit the same colors. But I decided to go with it this time because I love the way Hermione's sweater looked. And she knit this out of wool of the Andes, but that's what came in the package, and I'm going to show it to you later. So that is going to be next up on my needles, as well as soon as I get these 2 others done, the sock and the shawl, I am going to design my sock. That's it. I'm going to do it. I'm ready. I'm excited. And yes, I found the perfect stitch pattern, and I'm ready to go. So that's all I've got for Puppy Love, Another One Bites the Dust, and my upcoming knits. I forgot what I call that section. Anyway, we're family. I'm going to talk about 3 fiber festivals, but 2 of them have already passed. And then another thing that's coming up with my knit sisters. The first one was the Houston Fiber Festival, which was in June. And it was an awesome weekend. For some reason, I was exhausted all week, and I couldn't seem to get the energy together. But I have a video, and I have some pictures that I will put up at the end of this. I just walked through all the vendors, and you can kind of see what they had. It was a lot of fun. Of course, Penny and Stacy of Brazen Stitchery were there, and Kim from Casey's Pockets to Go was 2 booths down from us. So we were visiting people and getting to know new people, and it was awesome. So yeah, that's one of my favorite events of the year, and it's not just because it's here and in my hometown, But it's just great. And next year they're going to have even more vendors. And this year they increased it from Friday and Saturday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think this was only the third year. So it's growing by leaps and bounds. It was exciting. They had, you know what, I can't think who the teachers were. I'm embarrassed because I should know, but J.C. Boggs, I think, was one of them. And I know that if Ruby Cruz is watching this, she's hollering at me because I should know who the other one is. Oh my goodness, she's got the multicolored hair. And this is like her last year to teach in the United States, or maybe that was her last time to teach in the United States, and I didn't get to take her class. But anyway, and her name is going to pop in my head as soon as I finish recording. Anyway, I should have written it down. Sorry about that. The next event we went to was something that was scheduled when we went to Yellow Rose back in April. And this is TAGRA, Texas Angora Ranchers Association. Angora Goat Ranchers Association. And this was the first time they've ever had vendors. This was their 98th year. So the word didn't really get out too much about it. There really wasn't much selling going on. As a matter of fact, we went and looked at the goats some, and the vendors visited, and there was some swapping that went on. And Lesia from, hold on. Yes, from Sova Pottery. I've shown you her work before. It's amazing and beautiful. And I was so happy to see her. I think the next time I see her, I'm going to get another mug from her. I'm still using my mug from her, obviously. But I'm going to get another mug from her when I see her again. She's just fabulous. She also had this neat little thing that was like a tray. And she had like these 2 flower petal type things coming out. So you could put like stitch markers and stuff in the bottom. You could put needles and scissors and stuff in the little flowers. I'm definitely going to get that for myself next time I see her. Anyway, the problem with TAGRA for me is because I'm a big wuss and there was no air conditioning. And we're talking July in Texas, people. They had big fans, and in the mornings it was pretty cool, and it rained the second day. But setting up was miserable. And then by the time we got off on the last day, I was dying. It was so hot, it was making me sick to my stomach. So the second half of the barn, it was divided in half. I think it was a new barn. It was a really nice facility. They had huge fans, ceiling fans, but it was huge. And the doors were open, so it didn't really cool that much. Anyway, the other half of the facility has a dividing wall, and it's air conditioned. And I think they are thinking about putting us there next year, which would be amazing. Anyway, it was nice, and the people there were super friendly. It just wasn't, it was the first year they had vendors, and they didn't really talk about it much. But I think Kim might go back again. I'm not sure, but I think so. The last one is one we have coming up. It's the Georgia Fiber Festival in Columbus, Georgia. Julia, I hope you're going to be there. From September 7th through the 9th. And Kim and I, as well as Stacy and Penny from Brazen Stitchery, are going to be there. Franklin Habit is going to be the featured speaker as well as teaching. So that's going to be really awesome. Really awesome. I might look at it and see if there's any way I could get a class with him. I don't usually take classes. I would love to, but I also love the socializing part. And there's supposed to be a vendor booth. And if I get the nerve up, I'm not vendor booth. Podcaster booth. And if I get the nerve up, I'm probably going to try and go to that. We'll see if they even have it. But anyway, so that's it for upcoming our fiber festivals. We'll have some more coming up later in the fall. The Kid and You, I think, we're going to be going to. We'll have the East Texas one. And so those are going to be a lot of fun. I love fiber festivals. But I also have one more trip that is knitting related. Me and 5 of my knitting friends, my knit sisters, are going on a cruise in October to, I think it's Cozumel and Progreso, I think. I'm not too worried about where we're going. I'm just looking forward to kicking back and relaxing and just enjoying ourselves. We're gonna knit, of course, all the time. I don't know. There's a pool close to our room. I swim, but I don't wear bathing suits. So I'm going to be looking for stuff. I've gotten suggestions of modest bathing suit places, and I'll figure out something, because I do at least want to get in the water some. But I want to get a lot of relaxing and knitting done too, and just hanging out with my friends. It's going to be awesome. So that's coming up in October. So acquisitions. The first thing I'm going to show you is this. My friend Michelle Jackson on Ravelry, has been knitting this doodler for a while. She is an amazing knitter. She can knit lace like nobody's business. She's younger. She's the same age as my older son. She's an amazing knitter. And she's been knitting on it, and I've been admiring it because of the color. Well, the work she does, the pattern itself, the doodler by Stephen West. But I also love the colors because it's very, very Halloween-y. And she kept saying she didn't like the green. I'm like, just save it for Halloween. You'll have this most amazing Halloween shawl. Well, a couple of weeks ago, I showed up at Knit Night, and she said, I've got something for you, but it's not done yet, but I wanted to show it to you. And she was giving me the doodler. I cannot believe that she put all of this work into this amazing shawl and then just gave it to me. My payment was knitting in the ends, which I don't mind. And so I'm going to take it off and show it to you. I'm not sure how to wear it. I think I'm going to wear it kind of like I've been wearing it, but I'll have to put in my shawl pin to get it to stay. But it starts off with this beautiful bright green cable. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. The cabley goodness, the green goodness, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger till there. Oh! And I don't know what she washed it with, but it smells amazing. And then there's this dark gray black with the lime green stripes, which, oh, look at this. Look at it. And then look at the purple edging. It's kind of a feather and fanny type lace on the edge. It's amazing and beautiful, and I love it. I can't believe I didn't cry, but... And Michelle's one of the girls going with us on the cruise. So I'm going to talk them into doing a podcast while we're gone, just for funsies. Okay. So that's my first acquisition. Now I'm going to talk about the things that I got at the fiber festivals. The first thing I'm going to show you is right here. This was one of the things that I got at the Texas Angora Goat Ranchers Association. We were next door to Ann and Shannon from the, I am so sorry. Hang on, I'm going to find it. I don't know what's wrong with me today. It's in Skein Yarns. I know that. They're in San Antonio. I've known Ann for quite a few years now, knitters, but I just got to know Shannon on that trip, and she is awesome. Anyway, they had this. It's from Knitter's Pride, and it is a pattern keeper. You've got this snap, which you can then flip around and snap on the back, and so that turns it into a stand. Sorry. So there you go. And you can also use this snap right here and tighten it up. It came with 4 magnets. One of them has slipped off, and it was here at the house, so I'll find it. But it's got this big one, which is really, really snug. And then these little bitty ones. And I use this to keep count of my rows or whatever. I haven't marked on this yet. But I love this. It's got a pen holder here, and then it's also got this pocket where I've got the rest of my pattern, and that way I don't only have to put up one page at a time and try to hold it with the magnets. So this is awesome. I love this. This was a wonderful, wonderful find. And oops, I use it. I'm using it quite a bit when I'm knitting on my Mother's Love shawl. This is what I'm using. Sorry about that. Okay, now I've already shown you my sock blockers. These are brass spun stainless steel sock blockers. And I really, really like them. I don't usually block my socks. I block them by putting them on my feet as soon as I bind off the second sock. But, you know, I could knit some socks and hang them up if I decide to, or, of course, I'm going to show y'all. And I might get another set because they're very inexpensive. I like the wooden ones because they're beautiful, which those would be more likely the ones I would hang up in my craft room anyway. But, yeah. I'm very, very happy that I finally got some sock blockers. This was given to me. I've talked about this before. Kim's sister, Robin Sample of the Sample Family Fiber, she has given us some amazing fiber. She dyes this, and then she makes it into Rolags. And her husband does too. And this, she came and just gave to us. It is Tussa Silk, merino wool and Tussa Silk. And this is the Texas Bluebonnets colorway. Look at these colors, y'all. These suckers are beautiful. Look at that. Look at this one. I'll have to probably lay them out before I do it, and I might do them in an order. I'm not really sure yet. I mean, I'm such a newbie on my spinning, even though I've been spinning for a lot longer than I should be a newbie. But who knows? Who knows? I might just grab and spin in and see how it turns out in the end. More than likely, that's what I'll do. But I have another set of her Rolags on the wheel right now, and I told myself I was going to do Tour de Fleece this year, and I did like 2 nights, and then I never did it again. So my spinning wheel is sitting right close to where I sit in the living room. I just need to pull it over and do a few minutes a day. Oops, sorry about that noise. Okay, so those are the Rolags I got. Thank you so much, Robin. They're beautiful. Y'all go find Robin. They have an Etsy shop. The Sample Family Fiber. Oh, it's just the samplefamily.etsy.com. They do amazing work. The second thing I got was sock yarn from Brazen Stitchery, because I always get sock yarn from Brazen Stitchery. So here's the deal. I had a little bit less money than I usually do to shop with, so I was being very careful and very thoughtful about what I was getting. And I went to the Brazen Stitchery booth and tried to decide. I told them I got to think about it. And then I went home that night, and I'm not kidding, y'all. I spent the whole night debating, what should I get? Which one should I get? I love them both. I don't know what to do. I told my husband and one of my sons about it, and I tried to look up the colors online and show them, and I couldn't find them, and I just was like, I don't know what to do. So I made my decision because one of them had a mini skein for the heel, toe, and cuff, and that was Hermione. Look at this. Look at these amazing, amazing colors. Showing up a little, no, that's probably real close to it, huh? Maybe a little bit darker than what it is. Amazing. This was dyed by Penny, and it's a self-striping. This is on their paparazzi sock. It's 75% merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina because, you know, I've got to go for the sparkle. And the mini skein is 87 yards. So this is 435 plus, so 522 yards total. I could get more than a pair of socks out of this because I don't use all that much sock yarn, even though I make my socks kind of tall. And as the day wore on and I checked to see how much I'd spent, I decided I had to have the second one anyway. And this one was also dyed by Penny. This is on their paparazzi sock again, so it's 75-20 and 5% stellina. And this is in the Molly colorway, Molly Weasley. Look at that, y'all. Look. I have another skein of Molly from No Makers, but 2 different mollies. Smells so good anyway. Are y'all yarn sniffers? I know y'all have seen me sniff my yarn. So Hermione and Molly both came home with me. And I mean, really, I love the Brazen Stitchery girls. Penny and Stacy are so much fun. I'm so excited that they're going to be in Georgia with us. Also at their booth, I ended up getting, sorry I'm bending over, my bag is down here. I ended up getting one of their Houston Fiberfest mini skeins. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. They brought me a button. The dogs are running. Poppy, come here. Y'all have to see this puppy that I told y'all earlier we're actually, she's ours now. Come on, Poppy. Poppy, come here. Oh, hang on just a minute. I have to pause. Okay, we had company come in. We had dogs running around like crazy. So, back to what I got at Houston. So, I went to Karen Dawn's booth. Karen Dawn has why am I doing this, y'all? It's Karen Dawn Designs, and she has round table yarns. I found this amazing shawl pattern that she had designed, and it's called La Belle Dame Sans Mercy. I hope that's right. This is the back of it. Look at that. And I decided to buy the yarn to do it. So the main color is going to be this. This is the Taliesin colorway. Taliesin makes me think of y'all. Anyway, this is on her Gawain base. There wasn't quite enough of this to do all the main color, but she had this mini skein, and it's the same colorway. It's Taliesin, but it's on the Emrys base. This one is 100% superwash merino, and this one is just, the only difference is this is a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon blend. To go on the edging where the colors start changing, I decided to go with, and these are all her Emrys base. This is the Orkney colorway, the Ganida colorway, and the Excalibur colorway, and they're all going to go together with this one for that shawl eventually. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. I love this. I'm very, very excited. Karen is an amazing dyer and designer. She has a new book of cows coming out. Karen Dawn Designs. Okay. The next thing I got was this yarn that Kim had dyed that she didn't like. It's supposed to be speckles. And hang on. She didn't have a colorway for this yet, but she didn't like it anyway, so she had 2 skeins of it. She gave one to me and one to Annette 79, and we said we would gladly take it. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait to knit this up. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably socks. I'm sure it'll be socks eventually. Anyway, yes. And then I bought, I didn't show you, Karen Dawn from Round Table Yarns gave me this awesome little, oops, sorry. Oops. Never mind. Tape measure. And then the last thing I bought was this bag, this squirrel bag from Casey's Pockets to Go, Kim. And it's a drawstring bag. I think every bag I've gotten from her so far has been a drawstring. And I love it. That morning on the way, I nearly hit a little squirrel. And I cry every time I hit a squirrel. And I didn't hit him and I still cried. Anyway, so that's what I got. Oh, I forgot to show y'all my pencil that I got from Brazen Stitchery. They always have a pencil for people who buy yarn from them. Little peace signs and butterflies, and I love the colors. So yeah, I always write my show notes with my Brazen Stitchery pencils. Now, between, let's see, when was it? On the way to the Tagra show, well, actually, before the Houston show, Kim and her son Ethan, who's 10, had gone to Sonic, and he got a slush, and it was blue and red, and they were having Transformer slushes, that's what it was. And he said, Mom, can we dye some yarn to go with the colors of the slush? So she said, sure. So she got him started, but he dyed it. And he dyed 4 or 5 skeins for the Houston show, and they sold out the first day. So he dyed some more, and he decided to give one to me to talk about on the podcast. This is Kim's yarn, but Ethan dyed it, and it's called Prime for Optimus Prime, but they didn't want to go into the actual names of things. You know, they didn't want to get into copyright problems. This is on her Frio fingering. It is 75 superwash, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. And here it is. It's a little more like burgundy than pink. Can you know? Let me turn on this light and see if that helps. I have a light up here. Actually, it's a lot closer, I think, with the light on it, I think. Anyway, look at that. Isn't it amazing? Look at those blues. Look at that blue. Good grief. Our friend Erin, Collie and Stitch Girl, already knit hers up into this beautiful shawlette, and I love it. I can't wait to knit mine up. Thank you, Ethan. This was actually my first yarn that was given to me for my podcast, so I'm very excited. Let's see. So those were my acquisitions. Talked about the doodler. Yeah. So now, speaking of acquisitions, I'll go ahead and turn this light off. It reflects off my glasses. Hang on. There we go. Acquisitions. I told y'all that my box came in today from Knit Picks, and I told y'all I was going to open it and show y'all, so here we go. It's a pretty big box because I got quite a bit of yarn. I got a sweater's quantity plus a little bit more. So here's the box. You all mostly know what a Knit Picks box looks like. Let me move my mic wire because I don't want to yank my camera down, my phone. So here we go. I'm so excited. Now remember, this is the yarn that I'm going to use to knit the of Hallows and Horcruxes cardigan. Oh no, where's the... Hang on, let me pause it again. We've got Dungeons and Dragons going on. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, so I went ahead and finished cutting it open while I was paused. Oh. Logan, I need help. Never mind. Okay, I'll have to edit this, y'all. Sorry. Okay, I knocked the camera over, making a mess today. This has just been very disheveled. Sorry about that. Okay, so I got the yarn for the sweater. I got 14 skeins of this one. This one is Dove Heather. 14 skeins. I don't even have to cake it up. I got 10 in a bag like this. I love that. That's so silly, but I love that. And then I got these other 4 outside the bag. So Dove Heather. I'll keep this out and show y'all. And then the colors for the Fair Isle are Cloud. Got 2 skeins of Cloud. 1 skein of Mist. And 1 of Almond. So these are the colors. And then here's the body color. I think it's going to be beautiful. It's, like I said, it's much more muted than what I usually do, but it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait to get it knit and wear it. But while I was doing that, maybe a couple of other things fell in. I didn't buy a ton of stuff, but I love my Emergency Fix keychain from Knit Picks. It's got the 2 little crochet hooks on the end. And I've got one, but I decided to go ahead and get 2 more. And that way I can have them in case I'm in a different knitting bag and I don't have mine with me or something. And I may have accidentally gotten 4 skeins of Felici. Where is my Felici? Can you see it? Nope, you can't. It's right up here. Let me turn it or lift you up. It's this right up here. That's all Felici right there. I have a Felici problem, and I've only knit like 2 pairs of socks out of it. But I got Witch's Brew because I only have 2 pairs of Halloween socks. Whew, look at those colors, y'all. Amazing. Gorgeous. And then I got Captain Nemo. Whew, look at those. Look at that turquoise and the purple. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So they're going to go up there in my Felici collection, and they will get knit eventually. So that was my Knit Picks order. Very, very exciting, as always. So let's see. What else was I going to talk to y'all about? Oh, yeah. Oh, let me scoot back just a little bit. There we go. That's better. I told y'all that I got John Mellencamp tickets for Mother's Day. Well, the night before the Houston Fiber Fest, we went. And he was fabulous, y'all. He was great. I'd never seen him before. But people were telling me he's really, really good. And he really was. We had a blast. I would see him again in a heartbeat. I don't know what our next concert's going to be. I know what I wish it were. It's Rick Springfield and Richard Marks and Rick Springfield are coming together in a few weeks, and boy, I wish I could see them. But I don't think I'm going to get to. It's really expensive tickets for that. Anyway, John Mellencamp was amazing. Oh, here's my shirt. Got a motorcycle on it. The album is called Sad Clowns and Hillbillies. But he sang a lot of his classic stuff, so we were really excited. The people around us sat still, and I always like to get up and dance, but I did in my seat. I just didn't get to like I normally do. Also, I think I told y'all last time that there's going to be a psych movie coming up. On Prime Day, I was able to get seasons 6 and 7. And so the only one I have left now is 8, and I really need to start watching from the first episode so that I can have it all rewatched by the time the movie that comes on. And they're saying they want to do several psych movies, so I'm hoping they do. I'm so excited about that. I wish they would do that with Monk. We saw Wonder Woman. Have you seen Wonder Woman? And if you haven't, shame on you, because it is amazing. Gal Gadot is fabulous as Wonder Woman. She was fantastic. I was all like getting excited in my seat, like moving around, and my husband was laughing at me because she was great. And one of the things I liked about her is that she was still very feminine and still loved her man. So she could be all of that. And then the next movie we saw, which was last week, we went and saw Spider-Man. And I'm telling you, I was pretty impressed. I love Andrew Garfield. But Tom Holland, I believe, he did a really good job. And the movie itself, overall, was really, really great. And I love Marissa Tomei, so I thought she was a good Aunt May. It was a really good movie. I'm way into the superhero movies. I've told y'all before. And, yeah. This one was really, really good. So, Wonder Woman and Spider-Man, if you haven't seen them, go see them as soon as you can. Let's see, what else? I guess the only other thing is, this week I took my younger son last week to see a dentist because he had a tooth that had broken and it was hurting him. And they did x-rays and they said that his roots are curved and that also his wisdom teeth need to come out. So we had to go see an oral surgeon this week, and he was amazing. I loved him. He had a great personality, great sense of humor, and we have surgery dates set, and it's coming up. He's gonna be in considerable pain. The doctor said, I'm gonna hurt you, and I'm gonna hurt you some more, but I'm gonna do it with love and drugs. So Kelby really liked him, and he's not scared. He just wants to get his teeth out, and we'll be getting that done in the next few weeks. So I think that was really all I had to talk about this time. I plan to be back in a couple of weeks. And until next time, knit on.